I really thought I was waking up at like 8 a.m. today, and it's like 11:45 and I'm struggling to get out of bed. What a beautiful intro. Hi, I'm Dana, and this is another video where I'm trying to do the thing where you can sort of body double with me and you can get some stuff done while I just chatter away over a silent time lapse of me doing stuff. Because I have to listen to music while I'm doing dishes and things like that. I just simply cannot bear the idea of me just speaking or doing that. And also you'd be able to hear like the tap and it'd just be noisy. It wouldn't work for me. So we're doing it this way, and I don't feel like it fully fulfills the purpose in the same way as me actively like physically doing it along with you while I talk. But I'm hoping it sort of fills the gap and does a similar type of thing. So this is very much because I'd put off doing all of my household chores. I very much do like a little every day, like there's some things I do every single day, like the dishes and scooping the litter, but most things like the hoovering and stuff I manage to like spread out so that I'm not having to do lots of chores all in one day, because it tires me out and I don't enjoy it. But I'd had 2 days of appointments and then a day of helping my friend pack up their entire flat, and I love them, God, but they have so much stuff. And then the next day I was helping them. I didn't have to actively help them unload the van. They had movers for that, but I had to help, like, I didn't have to help either. I decided to help them rebuild furniture and, like, get sorted in the new place so they didn't feel terrible, Like, moving is awful for anyone, but especially as autistic people, going through all of that change and having everything be different is so difficult. So I really wanted to stick around and help. And I did my best, but it was just an exhausting like 4 days during an already like just very exhausting, horrible month that I've not been enjoying. It's one of those where I'm like, I'm so excited for January to be over, but also like February is not going to be any different. So why? But anyway, so I had a whole variety, like all of the chores I would usually do like through the week, I had to do today. Not today, but the day that I filmed this video. And that's, yeah. So if you've got any chores that you've been putting off, things that you're gonna get around to, anything like that, now's the time for you to just leave this video on in the background listening to it. Obviously, you don't just, you can just leave my videos playing in the background. I'd love the monetization, but you can just leave this listening in the background and I'll stop talking about such boring things in a minute. And, you can get round to your own bits. You can do whatever you need to do, and you've got the support and a bit of like brain interaction. You could alternatively just listen to your favourite podcast, but I know how difficult it can be to just like put something on and try to engage yourself. So that's where we can do it together. I really thought I was going to just like voice over a more than 10-minute video in one go, like just all in one breath. But I did in fact need to stop for a tea break. Not that kind of tea break, just I had to sip my tea. So yeah, I was going to talk to you about the appointments I had, but they're actually quite boring, are they? One of them was with I don't know if they're a charity, some sort of organisation where I live called Step Forward that offer like therapy and various other bits and pieces. And it's one of those where I've been referred to a lot of different mental health places in Liverpool. I say that, I haven't. I've been referred to Talk Liverpool over and over and over, and they give me CBT, and like 5 sessions in, they're like, this isn't helping you, is it? And I'm like, no, it's not. I'm not that. I did say it wouldn't, but like, And it's one of those things where they act like I'm going into it like expecting it not to work and not caring. And it's like, no, I may not expect it necessarily to work, but I am actually going into it and trying my best and doing what I can. And it, I've done that repeatedly. The first time I did expect it to work. The second time I was a bit more unsure, and so on and so forth. So I finally am not dealing with that and have been referred to a new place. So I had like the initial like assessment appointment thing over the phone, and it's one of those where they always ask like, oh, would you prefer to do like Zoom or the phone or in person? And for me it's very much like all of these things I hate equally. They just take different amounts of effort. So like I do not like phone calls. I absolutely despise phone calls, but they're obviously a lot easier than actually getting myself up in the morning and getting dressed and getting to the place and dealing with people in real life. So like, no, I don't like any of these options. I don't have a favourite of the options, really, but the phone will take me the least fucking effort, So we did that, and I go into all of these assessments with the thing of like, maybe this is the time, but I'm not really expecting it to be. Maybe this will actually be helpful this time, but I'm not really expecting it to be. And I was really, really relieved and very pleasantly surprised and had quite a nice experience. Like, I had a little cry afterwards because I was like, they had said things like, they'd asked me about different therapy types that they might try on me, and I was like, I haven't heard of these things. Like, I genuinely in this moment feel like you know a lot more than I do. And it's one of those things where I fully believe that medical professionals should know more than I do, but I've also come across so many where I'm like, I've also Googled how to not be depressed. Like, this is nothing new. You know, they don't seem to have any more information than I do as someone who's Googled stuff. Whereas these ones seem to really understand things and know about things. And especially when talking about change, they mentioned having like, because obviously you do have to change things when you're healing and getting better and recovering and everything. And they have like a plan of, a plan of steps in order to initiate change. And I was like, oh, that's really great for me because I'm autistic, so obviously change is quite difficult, and being able to adjust like that is it sounds like it'll be really helpful for me. But nowhere else has ever done it like that. So I do have a lot of hope that these ones will actually like really help me out and really be a good thing for me, because they just seem to know about things, you know? And it shouldn't be such a shock, but it really is. My other appointment was just at the job centre. That's just one of those things that you gotta do when you're in my position. And it was fine. They're helpful enough. They understand well enough. It was the moving that's really tired me out. There's been other stuff, but my brain's like, oh, see, I feel like I might. It's the whole thing people talk about of being in like constant fight or flight and never having like a fully rested like internal response system or whatever, where it's I'm just so constantly like, just gotta get through this, just gotta get through this, just gotta deal with this next thing, that I forget everything that I've done very quickly. And that's how I stay positive and upbeat, honestly. If I remembered more about my life, I would definitely be in a worse situation than I am. But yeah, all of that kind of stuff really takes a lot of energy for me. It means that I will ignore whatever it is I need to do that day, you know? Like, especially when it's just like little house chores, it's so easy to like have your washing build up and have like, especially having cats, having just like litter and fur and shit on the floor build up. Like, it happens so quickly. So if I'm not doing it every week or like every couple of days or whatever, it gets so filthy so fast. And it just took me a real long time to actually get round to it all this week, so I did it all in one day. And like, okay, this is so like, none of this is interesting. This is just to keep your brain somewhat relatively engaged in something while you're doing the same as I'm doing in the video. But my bed, I got a heated blanket and it's changed my life. I am attached to this heated blanket in ways that no one should be attached to a blanket, you know? So I've been sleeping just like fully on top of my bed with the heated blanket, but obviously I've got all my other blankets on the bed, so that absolutely screws them up. So I have to like fully rearrange my bed every single morning, and I really need to figure out a new way of like making my bed to accommodate to this. But I can't imagine changing the way that I make my bed, you know? Like, the idea of that changing makes me feel a little bit sick. I don't want that to change, but it needs to, so I can actually be physically comfortable while I sleep. So, autism problems. And then, oh god, there's so much stuff like this where like, in my head, I'm just like bopping along to music, got a little smile on my face, having an alright day, getting on with it, you know? And then I look back at the footage and I'm like, I look like I'm ready to take someone out. Like, I look so pissed off. And I was in like, I really hype myself, honestly, for when I do any like big chore day. If I've got like a bunch of stuff to do, I really hype myself up and I'm like, woo, yeah, we love this. So like, I genuinely feel positive and good in that moment, and my face looks like that. Autism problems. It's just how life be sometimes, I guess. It makes me wonder how I'm perceived like out and about in the real world though, if I look like that. Like, it's not even resting bitch face, it's worse. It's so much worse. I need to stop looking at my own face while I do this voiceover. Let's stare at the microphone instead like you're a Dalek. I need a break. It's just the repeatedly doing things over and over again and again forever. Like, unless I got super rich and like hired a slave, these are just things that I would have to do will have to do every day for the rest of my life. Like, I'm not gonna hire a fucking slave even if I had money, you know? But like, it's just constant and never ending. And I don't understand how everyone else keeps up with it while still having so many other things happening in life. Like, I have such a low demand life. I do so little, and yet I still find it so difficult to find time and energy and like mental motivation to do things as simple as like hoover or do my dishes, you know? Like, the only thing I actively do manage to do every single day no matter what is scoop the cat's litter tray. And that's only because like I look at Otis's little face and I'm like, oh baby, I can't leave you in the dirty litter tray. You need the best. You need the best life. So I feel like I haven't actually explained like anything I'm doing in this video like I normally would, but I also don't feel like it's a normal vlog. Like, you want to just listen and not have to look at the screen too much. But yeah, I just tidied my room and hoovered my room, and I feel like I need to start getting to the outro, but there's still so much video left that I don't know if I should. So I'm going to explain the next few things that I did, because it was as simple as cleaning my desk, which had gotten real grotty. I do everything here. Like, I work, eat, sleep, play. Like, all of my life happens at my desk. Oh, little oak man. He loves those purple toys. He just pulls them around everywhere. It's so cute the way he carries them. Makes so much noise though. But yeah, I cleaned my desk, I went food shopping, and then I watched the Hunger Games, and then I watched the next Hunger Games, and then I watched all of the Hunger Games movies. And I really, really enjoyed them, just like I did when they first came out when I was a teenager. Like, I wasn't super, like, a big Hunger Games fan, but I did read the books and watch the movies, and I liked it, you know? And I still like it. Like, I'm not entirely indifferent, but it's not one of my favourites. So yeah, that was the rest of my night, really. I don't know how long my outros take, so I feel like I've started it way too early, actually. Yeah, those purple things, I've got him two, because like, I got him the first one and he loves it, so I got him another one, because autism. I treat my cat like an autistic child, I think, but he loves it, so yeah, he owns a few of those and he just goes wild for it. He always wants to play with it, he always wants to carry it about, and I just love watching him carry it. It's so sweet. Oh, I am one of those people that like loves my cat a bit too much, I think, but look at him. How could you not? All of you guys love Otis too, right? I did more laundry as well. I just tried as hard as I could to actually get stuff done so I could relax the next day. But today is the next day and I don't feel very fucking relaxed. So you can follow me if you want more of this content. You can subscribe. I make videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. I make almost daily content over on TikTok if you wanted to follow me there. I sometimes even post on Instagram and X, which I don't like. I don't like that X. Make it back to Twitter. Make things how they used to be. I don't like change. So yeah, those are places you can follow me. You can also pay to follow me over on Patreon if you wanted to, and you can also donate to me over on Ko-fi. All of it will be linked down below, but there's never any pressure to give me money. Most of us are struggling. You're fine. You don't have to. So yeah, I did start my outro too early. That's a true fact there. I feel kind of bad that this video isn't longer, but I also did nothing interesting, and it very much is just to help you get like kick-started and doing whatever it is you need to do, because I really could have done with that like 5 days before this video, you feel. So yeah, that's just me and Oatman signing off, watching a bit of the Hunger Games, obviously. And I also, at this point at like 5:30, was like, oh, I haven't eaten yet today. So I made myself food that you're gonna see in just a wee little second there. So yeah, Richmond's meat-free burgers. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I'll see you in a few days.